Namaste. We are living in an era where relationships are almost losing the importance that they were once given. Maybe a decade ago or 2 decades ago, relationships were very, very important and one would do anything to save a relationship. But it's no longer like that, and nowadays if a relationship goes sour or if there is a rift, people just move away. But recently there was a counseling. One lady came for the online counseling. She joined me and she was talking about her life and particularly about a relationship. She was married, she had a child, and her husband, her child and her father-in-law were living together. They were in their ancestral house, which is a very good, beautiful house. And her husband's brother, that's her brother-in-law, younger brother, he was also married. He was living in a different house, a little away from them, same city. She said initially when the brother-in-law got married, 3 years after she got married, the brother-in-law got married, the girl whom he married, that is her co-sister, happened to be a very nice girl, and she said I really took a very great liking to her. Both of us liked each other very well, so we were co-sisters, and we used to keep meeting for every other day almost for something or the other, because they were not living very far away. It was just about 3 kilometers away. They had their own house, and that was also a house which belonged to the family. So that brother was living there, and now they also have a child. So she said, we had a very beautiful relationship. Very often we used to get together as a family and cook dinner or lunch together, or we used to go out together. And I used to share everything with her. She said she was an only child, this lady who was talking to me. She said, because I was an only child, I never really shared anything much with anybody. But with this girl, I really found I could speak to her. Whatever I felt, I could talk to her. And in our house, we didn't have any big problem because my father-in-law is also very nice. He's like quiet, and I just take care of him, and whatever he needs, I give him. And there's no other problem at all. Mother-in-law is not this, so we had nothing much to crib about. But we had many topics to discuss about. She used to talk about her family. I used to talk about my family, she said, and then their own friends, their own background, and what all they liked. And both of them used to go together to do shopping and to watch movies and many other things. So she said it was almost like we had become very close and almost like sisters, not just co-sisters, almost like actual sisters. We had become very close. Now she says suddenly in the last maybe around 2 months, she felt that her co-sister was not talking to her properly. She said, everything is there. I cannot put my finger on any incident and say that this happened, or I cannot point out to something which she spoke and say she spoke harshly like this. It's not like that. But there is something, in her tone. The earlier warmth is not there. And she used to talk to me for half an hour also earlier on the phone. And when we got together in person, we used to keep on talking. But now, we are hardly meeting. In the last 2 months, we must have met only twice, and that was a family gathering. By ourselves, we haven't gone anywhere, she said. And she also said, even when I call her up, the conversation lasts hardly 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, what did you cook today? What did you do? And any news? Nothing, and the call ends. So she said, it's hurting me a lot. I know that something is wrong. She is holding something against me, and it is very difficult for me, because she says, I have never liked or loved anybody else so much in my life. I really thought I have a very good friend and a sister in her, and throughout life we could travel together. This is what I thought. But now she's not talking, and she's not coming out with whatever is there in her mind. Now what do I do? She says, I feel like going and asking her. See, that's the first thing that comes to our mind. When somebody is not talking to you properly and you really miss the usual warmth which was there earlier, it's not there now, it's a bit cool. So you definitely want to go and ask them, what is wrong? Why are you not talking to me properly? But will that be the best thing to do? That's the question. Because then it all comes out in the open. And if the other person is honest and comes out with what is in their mind, then it is very good. But supposing even after that they don't speak out, then the whole situation becomes very difficult to manage. It becomes stressful. The relationship gets stressed. So I told this lady, see, going and asking directly, talking may work sometimes, but it doesn't work all the time. But definitely what would really work is if you talk to the subconscious mind of your co-sister. And then she did, she had already done our classes. She had done many of our classes. So she knew alpha meditation, alpha level, everything. So she said, okay, then I will practice alpha meditation and I will talk to her subconscious mind. And with that, she went away and she started doing it seriously. The problem is in the alpha level of the mind, when your subconscious mind is open, you are very powerful. In a powerful state of mind, you can definitely access another person's subconscious mind. You can present your thoughts there. All that is definitely there. But the problem is, many people have told me that when I go into the alpha level, I do alpha meditation or cell glow meditation or chakra meditation, any of our meditations, at the end of it, you will still be in the alpha level. They say I enjoy the meditation and then I also visualize my goals. I do many things. But finally, when it comes to talking to the subconscious mind of a person who is hurting me, I am not able to do it. I don't feel like doing it at all. I just conclude the meditation and get up. So this is the problem with many of us. If you know the techniques, you should also be able to use it properly. If you really want a good result, if you want the relationship to be mended, then you need to talk to your own subconscious mind first and create that feeling, that need that yes, I somehow have to make this all right. I don't want to let this ridge become bigger because I will be losing something. I really want to have a good relationship with this person. If that is the feeling you have, then you have to make yourself do this technique, use this technique properly. So I told all this to this lady. She went away and she started doing. Initially she contacted me, she wrote a mail and said, I'm trying to do it, but every time I think of her, there are tears in my eyes. See, sometimes it is anger, sometimes it is just that emotion, you feel sad that this person is not talking to me properly. You feel let down. You feel that that person is not respecting your emotions. All those things are there. So then I told this lady, see, if you really want this thing to be sorted out, please do it somehow. And then she started doing it. And then maybe after about 20-25 days, nearly a month, she again spoke to me. And she said it has really worked very well because initially, as I said, she was not able to speak to her co-sister's subconscious mind. But then slowly she started understanding that she has to first of all, stabilize herself and somehow talk to her subconscious mind to get the result. And she did it very well. And then she said one day her co-sister called her from her side. Otherwise, in these 2 months, she was not even calling. So she said suddenly she called me and she spoke as if nothing had happened. She spoke like she used to speak earlier and she said, shall we go and do shopping? It's a long time since we went. I want to buy this item, so I would like you to come with me. And she said, I immediately said yes. I did not hold any grudge against her because I wanted this thing to end. I wanted us to be like we were before. So she said okay, and she went and she said we really had a good time as usual. And we came back and we are back on track. Now she's again calling me. I'm also calling her. We are talking. We are meeting often. So she said, I just waited for a week to see whether things will remain like that, in a good way. And then I'm telling you. So I was also very happy to hear this. But the moral of the story is only this, that relationships can give us a lot of happiness. But relationships can also break our heart. They have the capacity to do that. But we must decide whether we need a relationship or not. If it is somebody whom you can just ignore and say, okay, if that person doesn't want to talk to me, I can just go without that person. Life is all right. It's the same for me. If that is your stand, then you don't have to do all this. But there are many occasions where certain relationships, if that person does not talk to you properly, does not respond to you properly, and you do not know the reason, it can become very painful. So when that is the situation and you want to mend the relationship, you want to make it as it was before, where you enjoyed talking to that person, enjoyed being with that person, then you need to make some effort. And instead of going and bringing it out in the open, which sometimes may work against the whole, it may go against the whole relationship. So that is why instead of doing that and taking a risk, you can first try this. Practice alpha meditation or any meditation, go to a proper meditative state. Then think of that person, talk to that person's subconscious mind, whatever you wish to say, present it there at the alpha level. And then visualize that both of you are like before, very friendly, talking happily and enjoying the relationship. So do this for a few, sometimes it works in one day, sometimes it takes more time. So be patient and do it, and be determined to do it. with determination, do it every day, and you will definitely see some progress, and most of the relationships do mend very well with this technique. So try it out and see, and let me know how it went for you. I would really like to know.